Your Majesty, after inheritage an empire from Babur, you faced multiple threats from both internal rivals and extremely forces. Looking back, do you think your internal approach to governance contribute to your early struggles?
Yeah, when I came to throne in 1530, I inherited a vast and fragile empire from my father Babur. The realism was marked by the internal dissent and the external threats, notably from the Sultan Badur of Gujarat and Sher Shah Suri in Bihar. And yeah, I divided the empire among my brothers in an attempt to consolidate power. But this was in accordance to attempt consulate power. But this was in accordance with the Timurid tradition. But the decision inadvertently planted the seeds of rivalry and the weakened central authority. Initially, I shifted to the military campaigns away from the need for the administrative consolidation. Through well-meaning, these choices helped to create early challenges and instability in my region.
Okay, so my second question would be your exile in Persians not only changed your fate but also influenced Mughal cultures. How did the Persian customers and military strategy shapes your visions when you reclaimed the throne?
While I was exiled in Persia for 15 years, I was kindly received by Shah Tampas I. It was a transformative period in which I immersed in Persian culture, art, and the administrative practices. When I regained the throne in 1555, I attempted to bring Persian sophistication to the Mughal court. I introduced Persian as the court language and incorporated Persian architectural aesthetics in my tomb, which is evident from the way my tomb was constructed military. I took the Persian approach of the discipline in infantry and advanced tactics to increase the effectiveness of armed forces plan statements in 2025. So this synthesis of Persian influence, the culture and administrative fabric of the Mughal Empire was enriched.
Okay, so my third question would be like, despite Sher Shah Suri defeating you, his administrative reforms later influenced the Mughal Empire. Did you recognize his governance as superior, and did it impact your own policies?
Sher Shah Suri was formidable enemy, and his administrative astuteness was commendable. He was a visionary in terms of governance, as he introduced a centralized bureaucracy, revenue reforms, and a currency system, Rupiah, Hurar, and Rahim Ullah. However, I agreed with his policies, albeit our paths were adversarial. When I was restored, they sought to introduce some of these reforms, especially in revenue administration and the infrastructure development to enhance Mughal state.
Okay, so historians often highlights you're interested in astrology and majestics. How did these defines influence your political decisions, and do you think they strategized or weakened your rules?
I was obsessed with astrology and mythism for the simple reason that I wanted to know the divine will and how to guide the retitious governance. I refer to astrologers often do find suspicious timing for major events and military campaigns. For some, this might be a weakness to rely on, but I saw it was an agreement of my actions with crystal's harmony. Yet I would concede that the overemphasis on such constellations might have resulted in the slowing down of decision making. It was important to balance spiritual insight with parametric governance, and while my beliefs about personal solace and they could form the time to stand in the way of immediacy need this statecraft.
Okay, so my last question would be your sudden age, sudden death left the empire in a young Babur hands. What were your concern about the future of the Mughal destinies, and what advice would you have given to him?
My ultimately departure in 1556 left the massive responsibility of the empire on my son Akbar, just 13. My main worry was maintaining the stability and continuity of our destiny in the fact of external faction and external threats. I was going to advise Akbar to consolidate power, foster unity among the nobility and tolerance among the diverse populace embracing inclusivity and implementing just the policies would we strengthen the empire foundation. Such the principles were not only the heeded by the Akbar but went further as we see during his region. Us hearing in the age of unparalleled prosperity and culturing flowering of the Mughal Empire.
Okay, that was very nice to have a little podcast with you. That is end of the podcast. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you.